Chapter 2 Melbourne Airport Calm. Melbourne Airport Terminal 2. Morning light spills through the wide glass walls, cool and pale like the inside of a seashell. Beyond them, planes glide slowly across the tarmac, their silver wings catching the first golden hints of day. I pause and listen. There's a quiet rhythm to airports I've always liked. Footsteps echo gently on the polished floor. A suitcase rolls past with a soft hum. Somewhere nearby, I hear the delicate clink of porcelain, someone setting down a coffee cup, still steaming. The air smells of espresso and paper boarding passes. I glance up at the departures board. Qantas Flight QF079 to Tokyo. 9:30 a.m., right on schedule. My pulse steadies. It's real now. I'm going back to Japan to see Grandma, and nothing will stand in my way. As I sit with time to spare, my eyes drift out the window, but my thoughts drift somewhere else entirely. I remember the first time I visited Grandma. I was only 5.5 then. I spent a summer month in Toyama during her school holidays when she wasn't teaching at the school. Mom and Dad returned to Tokyo for work, but I stayed behind, alone with Grandma. It was my first real adventure. I was a city girl, wide-eyed and curious. Everything felt new. Stag beetles clung to tree branches like miniature monsters. Dragonflies shimmered near the pond. Fireflies blinked across the rice fields like tiny lanterns. Grandma took me all over Toyama. We visited old temples, tucked between forested hills where the cicadas screamed so loud that I had to cover my ears. She taught me how to clap my hands at the shrine, bow twice, and make a wish. We'd go to the morning market, where fish still twitched in baskets and the scent of pickled daikon filled the air. I liked trailing behind her like a duckling, trying to match her short, purposeful steps with my wobbly ones. She didn't mind. She said she liked having a little shadow who asked too many questions. That summer was interesting, in the way only a training camp run by your grandma could be. In just under a month, Grandma tried to shape me into a well-mannered young girl, a future lady. It was an impossible mission. More impossible than Mission Impossible. And since neither Grandma nor I is Tom Cruise, the mission failed spectacularly. To be fair, even Ethan Hunt, the best agent of the IMF Impossible Mission Force, would have struggled to pull this one off. And really, let's be honest, Tom Cruise is a grown man. There's no way he could convincingly disguise himself as a 5-year-old Japanese girl, well-mannered or not. I suppose with extreme surgery, a total wardrobe overhaul, and the full force of his Golden Globe-winning acting talent, it might technically be Mission Possible. Still, if the IMF actually briefed Ethan Hunt on a mission this ridiculous, I'm pretty sure he'd smash the mission brief sunglasses on the ground, stomp on them a few times, and kick them across the room before the device even got the chance to say, "This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds." Wait, how did we get here? Why are we talking about gender reassignment and Tom Cruise? This is really going far and away. Oh, Far and Away. That's another Tom Cruise movie. Sorry, guys. My bedtime mumbling took a very wide turn. Don't worry, I got this. I'm gonna bring us back. I need you to trust me. Oh no, not again. That's another famous Tom Cruise line. We're in Edge of Tomorrow territory now. Stuck in a never-ending Tom Cruise filmography loop. Okay, enough side quest. We've got a plane to catch. Let's get back to our story. Back to that summer when I was 5. That summer was Grandma's personal training camp. Project Liliko, if you will. Her goal? To upgrade me into Liliko 2.0, a refined, graceful, properly mannered future Yamato Nadeshiko, the ideal, elegant Japanese lady. Education starts young and Grandma was wasting no time. Did Project Liliko succeed? Let's just say, remembering where to place your rice bowl versus your soup bowl is hard when you're hungry. It's even harder to remember to take off your shoes when you're sprinting in and out of the house chasing geckos. I didn't become graceful, not even a little bit. But I did learn my math, addition, subtraction, the times table. That month, Grandma drilled the numbers into my tiny brain, and somehow they stuck. She was proud of that. I like to think I inherited her math gene. A math teacher grandma with a math-smart granddaughter, upholding the family honor and her professional reputation. Grandma always said she wasn't a tiger mom. She was just exploring my potential. Dad disagreed. Having been forced to memorize the times table at a similarly young age, he once muttered, "She's not the tiger mom. She's the mother of all tiger moms, the tiger grandmom." He said it in a whisper, of course, never within Grandma's hearing. I still remember saying goodbye at the end of that summer at Toyama Station. I was excited to go home to Tokyo to see my friends and tell them all about my adventures, but there was also a quiet sadness in leaving Grandma behind. It's a lucky thing, I think, to be loved in two places at once, Tokyo and Toyama, a feeling a bit big for a 5-year-old to fully understand. As we stood in the open square outside the station, I saw tears welling in Grandma's eyes. I was so used to her serious and steady voice, I never imagined she'd cry. "Don't cry, Grandma," I said. "You told me a proper lady doesn't cry in front of others, remember? When I bumped my head last week." She gave a shaky laugh, then bent down to meet my gaze. "I guess I'm not a very good teacher, am I?" "No, you're not," I replied honestly. "You cry more than me. When I hit my head, it hurt. That's why I cried. You're not hurting anywhere." "No, but I do." She pointed to her heart. "Here." Even at 5, I understood her sadness seeing me goodbye. I hugged her tightly and whispered, "Goodbye, Grandma. I'll miss you." That month, I learned her rules, her lessons, her quirks. I saw her serious side, her loving side, and now her soft, tearful side. She was strict, but she was kind. That summer, I learned how to add, how to multiply, and how to read the emotion in her eyes, even when she didn't say a word. I pulled out my Hello Kitty tissue pack, something I always carried because I was kind of a snotty child, and handed it to her. "Here, Grandma, you can use mine." "Thank you, Liliko. That's very kind. But I've got this," she said, reaching into her bag. Grandma always carried her handkerchief, folded with neat, almost ceremonial care, always tucked into her handbag. She took it out and waved it gently in front of me. "You keep yours," she said, returning the tissue. "Hello Kitty is your favorite." "Is Handkerchief your favorite?" I asked. "Yes," she smiled, "because I get to keep it with me." Mom and Dad each took one of my hands. As we walked into the station, I looked back one last time. Grandma stood in the breeze, the summer air brushing her hair. Her handkerchief fluttered like a small white flag, soft, steady, and full of feeling. I used to wonder why she preferred handkerchiefs to tissues. Was it just an old-fashioned habit? A matter of elegance over convenience? Now I think I understand. Tissues disappear, but cloth remembers. A handkerchief carries the scent of both sorrow and joy. It can be washed, just as time may rinse away the sting of a tear, but the memory has already woven itself into the threads. Throwing away a tissue is like discarding a piece of feeling, but a handkerchief lets you hold on to them. grief or gladness, farewell or reunion. It safeguards your memories so they aren't lost. I look at the time on my phone. It's time to check in. I gather my thoughts and proceed to the check-in counter. It's quick and uneventful. With nothing left to do, I find a quiet corner to sit and wait. All around me, travelers move with gentle purpose. There's no sense of urgency, no harsh voices piercing the air, just the soft heartbeat of new journeys quietly beginning. A woman knots her scarf with practiced ease, then heads toward security. An elderly couple sit near the window, their hands loosely clasped, sharing a silence only long love understands. There's a kind of beauty here. It reminds me that travel doesn't always need to be fast to be meaningful. Sometimes, the stillness is the story. Near the check-in area, I notice a young Japanese family. A father in a navy jacket, a mother with soft eyes gently guiding a small suitcase, and their son, no more than 5 or 6, clutching her hand, his tiny red backpack bouncing with each step. The boy stops and points toward the window. "Hikoki!" he exclaims. Airplane. In Japanese, hikoki means airplane. I love how it sounds, like a little burst of air and energy, perfect for something that takes you far away. I smile. Maybe they're visiting grandparents too. Maybe in just a few hours, that boy will run into his grandfather's arms. Maybe his grandmother will greet him with a warm melonpan and a soft "okaeri," welcome home. And suddenly I feel it, that tug in the heart, that longing to be wrapped in familiar arms, to be home. I unzip the front pocket of my bag and take out my sketchbook. A blank page, a waiting pencil. My hand begins to move. The curve of the mother's fingers around her son's, the boy's soft, wind-blown hair, the way their suitcases stand close, almost like part of the family too. No one notices me drawing, and I don't mind. Some moments feel too precious to pass by unrecorded. I like capturing these quiet truths, the kind that photos can't quite hold. In the corner of the page, I write softly, "Together bound for somewhere warm." When the sketch is done, I gently close the book. It's time to move. I make my way toward the security checkpoint. I try to breathe slowly. Airports can feel mechanical. Lines, trays, scanners, beeping lights. But today, everything feels softened, like I'm walking through a watercolor painting. A soft announcement hums overhead, listing cities: New York, Taipei, Auckland. Some I've been to, and some I haven't. For a moment, I wonder what it would be like to pick a place at random, just follow a gate and see where it takes me. But not this time. Today, I'm heading north, across the Pacific and into the sky, all the way to Tokyo, and from there, a slower journey inland, to Toyama, to Grandma. At the edge of the departure hall, I find another quiet seat by the window. I catch my reflection in the glass, half lit by sunlight, half shadowed by the terminal beams. I look like a traveler, yes, but more like someone who's finally beginning to understand why she travels. Not to escape, not to impress, but to return, to reconnect. I see the same face I've always had, but today, there's something steadier in the eyes, like I'm carrying more than just clothes and chargers, like I'm carrying a quiet promise, tucked somewhere between my sketchbook and the heart. I open my sketchbook again and glance down at the family I drew. I smile and add one final detail, the boy's sock, slipping just slightly off his heel. Tiny things like that stay with me. They make a moment feel real, like a petal pressed between pages. I take one last look around the terminal. The family I sketched is gone now, somewhere deeper in the maze of gates. I half expected them to be flying to Tokyo too, but maybe they're off on another adventure, a detour before returning home. How lovely, I think. But not for me. Not today. My destination is Tokyo, and tomorrow it's Toyama, though my heart has already arrived there. A flight crew walks past in matching uniforms, their laughter soft and low. The automatic doors open and close behind them with a sigh. The plane is waiting, breathing, almost alive. And just like that, my thoughts return to Grandma. I picture her tiny kitchen, the wooden step at the genkan, her voice humming an old folk tune as she stirs soup with practiced hands. Just another day, I whisper. I'm on my way. I've kept these moments with me, pressed gently between the pages like a flower frozen in time, and folded next to it my own anticipation, a quiet blooming of the journey ahead, like a gift carried gently home. Not in paper, but in memory. Thank you for staying with me through my bedtime mumble. It means so much to have a friend who quietly keeps me company. I hope this story helped calm your thoughts and bring a little peace to your night. If it did, feel free to listen again anytime you like. Let this video be a soft place you can return to, whether it's tomorrow night or the next time you need a gentle story to help you drift off. If you'd like to join me for the next chapter of our journey, please consider subscribing to this channel, and don't forget to tap the little bell so you'll be gently reminded whenever a new story arrives. You can also like this video or share it with a friend who might enjoy a quiet bedtime moment. Every subscriber feels like another friendly travel companion in my little corner of the world, and knowing you're here gives me the motivation to keep creating these cozy videos. It truly means the world to me. Have a sweet and restful dream.